Hello and welcome back to CP 2049, a solid state society. Tonight with us we have Ghost, Matihi, and Rogue playing Trauma, Yin, and Machine, respectively. Tonight's session is going to pick up from where I believe episode 20, which is a whole lot of sake, ended. Tonight would be episode 22. Um, in the previous episode 20, whole lot of sake, um, Yang invites Trauma to the Lotus Blossom Club in order to engage his services as a exclusive. Um, Kumiko has been able to find out about Trauma's background, specifically his ex-military experience, the fact that he has a daughter in Icarus General, and he is struggling to make ends meet. Kumiko and Yang propose that Trauma work for them exclusively. In exchange, when Kumiko and Yang are successful, Takeda would have the power, the resources to focus on the affliction that's affecting Trauma's daughter. In addition to that, they would be paying him a generous stipend, and in addition to that, they would ensure that his daughter would be safe within the Icarus General system, making it very hard for somebody to find her, given Kumiko's contacts in the city. Trauma weighs these options and decides to enter a deal with them. Later that evening, Kumiko, Yang, and Trauma make their way to Mr. Sachs. Kumiko and Yang feel that they need to know more about this person in Yin's life, what he brings to the table, what are his real objectives, and in case of Yang, why would somebody like Mr. Sachs, an extremely powerful figure, be interested in his sister, who Yang has his strong opinions about her. They make their way to the club, they make contact, and eventually they are brought up to Mr. Sachs's office, wherein Kumiko, Mr. Sachs, and Yang have a very interesting exchange of words. Kumiko tries to bargain, trying to make sure that Mr. Sachs is not working against Trua Descartes. However, Mr. Sachs seems to have a lot of information about Kumiko and Yang's goals, including a certain shipment that they've been told to destroy. Mr. Sachs seems almost omnipresent. The knowledge he has about Kumiko's operation is unnerving. Yang, in the meanwhile, takes a different view on the whole exchange. His distrust on Mr. Sachs increases to a point where social guffaws and faux passes are made during that exchange, leaving Kumiko in a rather, how would one say, a rather disadvantaged position in the bargain. Eventually, Mr. Sachs says that if they would like to complete their mission, take out the ship that's en route to Icarus, and in turn deal a blow to Takeda Enterprises, he would be willing to help. He has the money, the resources, the power, but he has two conditions. One, Yin and Machine will join this expedition, which unnerves Trauma and Yang even more, because that was a private conversation. The other is that when Kumiko eventually succeeds, he wants 15% of the profits of Takeda Enterprises for 15 years. Kumiko has no other choice but to agree. As they leave the Saxon Trombone Club, Yang seems to be in a world of his own. He leaves the group, catches an airline out of Icarus. Kumiko is angered and flustered at the same time and heads back to a club. plotting a next move and figuring out how to bring Yang under control if it's possible. And that's where we left off the last session. Tonight we pick up where Trauma and Kumiko left Mr. Sax's club, eventually made back to the Lotus Blossom, and from there on Trauma headed back to his apartment. And that is where we'll pick up tonight's session. Go ahead, Trauma.
So Trauma would enter his apartment. This is right after the conversation with Mr. Sachs and everything, yes. Correct? Okay. Mm-hmm. Trauma would go in his apartment and begins to start making plans. After speaking with Kumiko, saying that Yang's not going to be as directly involved as they once thought, takes matters into his own hands. But it's going to stick to his initial plan. He brings up his compad, starts going through his old contacts looking for a particular name in his list as Sarge, and presses the name on the contact list and waits for the phone to dial.
The phone trills. After a couple of rings, the line picks up. Yeah.
You looking for work?
Maybe. What kind of work?
Shadow ops. No questions asked. No information. Get in, get out, get paid. Big money.
Big fuck off money?
Before I answer that, Cypher, I had said 50,000 or 100,000 for each.
50,000 per person.
50K each.
Oh. That is big fuck off money. Alright. Meet me at Rosie's Thighs, you know where that is. You would know this is basically a strip joint in the Haven district. A lot of ex-military types hang out there.
Alright. I'll be there.
Right now the time is early morning, maybe 5-ish, 4 or 5-ish. The fact that he's still there doesn't surprise you. Ex-military types like you guys barely ever sleep. Mm-hmm. Tonight, midnight. Look for me, I'll be there.
I'll be there.
And the phone clicks.
And then I'll also call Machine probably as well. Okay. Since I think Mr. Sachs directed we were to include them, and that was agreed to.
Yes.
And so I go through Machine's number, find it, dial it, sit there and wait.
Machine on your end, the phone trills, and you see that it is Trauma that's reaching out.
He picks it up immediately while he's walking down the street, back to the pad. What's up, brother?
We got work.
Oh, really? Is this tonight?
Just to clarify, Cypher, it's in a couple days from today? Or is it?
Yes. So
okay.
To set the timeline straight, it'll be 4 days from now when the ship will arrive. So you will have to head out at least 3 days from now. So when the ship is about a day or so away, any less, and the ship, if you are successful in the mission, would be too close to Icarus for people to investigate. So let's put it down to like about 2 to 3 days from now. And you're meeting Sarge tonight.
Yeah, and then go back to the conversation. About 3 days from now.
Oh man, you know I'm down. Down to help you anytime.
Good. Your girlfriend is included. Sax made it happen.
Oh, alright. Anybody else I know?
You remember Sarge?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're working out details. But I expect he's going to be on board. Probably some of the old crew as well.
Oh, that sounds nice already. Sounds like this is gonna be a fun one then.
Not too fun. There's got a lot of things we got to go over.
Well, yeah, just let me know when's the briefing.
And the meeting is tonight, right?
Yes.
Alright.
We're going to try to have the brief tonight.
That'll be perfect. I'll head home and get ready.
Oh, one more thing. I didn't really want to include Yin for obvious reasons. I'm sure you can imagine why. So, I'm giving you a little extra responsibility. I'll do what I can to keep her in line, but if she compromises us, you better rein her in.
The machine pauses for a long time. Kind of actually, a little bit baffled by the whole thing for real. But he says, yeah, of course, I'll keep her in line. No worries.
Alright. I'll see you tonight.
Roger that.
He disconnects.
And when Machine hangs up, he stops walking for a minute and just deep in thought about the conversation. He,
Go ahead. Sorry.
he just feels strange, unusual, everything that's been going on, feeling like their relationship's getting deeper, and it's kind of throwing him for a little whirlwind, so he's unsure of his feelings about the whole situation. And of course, his ties to trauma. So I'm not sure, out of character, how much he knows about them not liking each other, or if he's been able to tell that or not.
Yeah, he hasn't said anything about that.
Okay. Yeah, so right now, just hearing the contempt in Jama's voice and asking him to watch her and stuff, he'll have that in his head, kind of worried, probably for the first time, about something between them.
And Machine, as you are walking through the streets of Icarus, just getting back from your grocery run, you start seeing that your phone is buzzing wildly. Yin has sent a bunch of text messages trying to find out where you are, what you're up to. Seems to be a tone of panic in them. Do you head back home? Do you call her?
Yeah, Machine will call her immediately.
Okay. Yin, you hear your phone ringing back. This is after the messages you and Yang have exchanged.
And Ian, before she receives a call from Machine, texting frantically. She's got beads of sweat running down her body, not having the drug in her system, well, sleeping it off for the last 18 hours, not touching it. Headaches are starting, pain is starting. She's too absorbed in what her brother has said, what she received. Back's against the wall, knees up to her chest. Her hands are trembling as Her phone lights up. Seeing Machine's name, she answers immediately. Dean?
Chi, what's up? You alright?
Where are you? When are you coming back?
I'm on my way back now. What's going on?
We can talk about when you're back. And Ian is sounding very panicked and frantic breathing on the other side. I can wait till you're back. I just want to make sure you're okay.
Machine looks around on the street for a minute, as if any moment somebody's going to drive up and start shooting, and he starts to step a little bit quicker towards the apartment. Yeah, I'm on my way. What the hell's going on?
I'll tell you when you get back, okay?
All right.
And Ian hangs up the phone.
Machine kind of double times it.
After about a tense 20-30 minutes or so, Machine eventually enters his apartment and sees Ian waiting for him. Go ahead.
As Dean enters the apartment, she's still on the bed, still shaking. Her mask is still where she left it, on the bedside table. And she gets up immediately, stumbling a bit from the bed. She runs over to Dean as he enters and throws her arms around him and hugs him. I'm glad you're back. I was worried when I woke up and you were gone.
Are you alright? He drops the bag, hugs her.
And she shakes her head. No. I don't know. I apparently Yang talked to Dr. Sachs. I told him I would have him. I don't know what he talked about. Something about Sachs that wanted me for my abilities. I don't know what's going. I don't know what he means.
Do you know anything about a job? A briefing tonight?
No. I know there is a job coming up. Something about I know Yang wanted something to do with the helicopter. She's backs up a bit, taps the side of her head, trying to remember. You can kind of feel the cold sweat on her. And she kind of starts pacing.
What's going on? What's up with that medicine? You've been taking that junk?
Yes, I can't not, Dean. It's I don't want to. It really, the last doses, it was about 5 times the usual. I left while you were sleeping. I didn't feel anything when I looked at you.
Yeah. He stares at her for a little while.
She continues pacing. She is rubbing both her arms very nervously as she paces around. I went to the stacks. There were we handled the explosives. I met with Ramses again. I killed men. I killed 4 of them. 4 of them. They didn't touch me.
I noticed you were covered in blood.
Not mine. Just theirs.
Yeah, I noticed that. He smiles.
Yeah.
He sighs very deeply and goes over to the bag of food and pulls out some chocolates that he had gotten for her, and walks over to her slow with the chocolates out. Well, as much as I hate to say it, how do we get some more of the medication for you? Because we're gonna need you.
Mm-hmm. And she takes the chocolates from Dean very carefully, hands still trembling. She opens them up. You can see she's squinting a bit, closing her eyes, opening them again, and grimacing, but she tears open the chocolates and eats a few. I have it. I want to take. It's just in there, and she gestures over to the mask on the bedside table. It's in there, but it hurts. It hurts.
Well, take it slow. Don't overdo it like the fucking doctor did the other day.
Okay.
I mean, you're all tore up right now. We're gonna need you at least functioning.
Okay. And Ian puts down the chocolates on the bed a bit sloppily, some of them spilling out. She walks over to the mask hesitantly. She takes it in her hands, looking at it, and she looks a bit afraid before she puts it back on her face. And she kind of feels it click in. And as she inhales through the vaporizer, you're feeling the drugs kick in again.
He puts a hand on her shoulder and kind of rubs her head.
Better. You can see the shaking stopped. She looks up to Dean. Much better.
He sighs. He doesn't even look at her and kind of just gives her a hug. Not sure how to feel about it. Making her take it, but needing her for the operation and to be able to function.
So, what exactly is this operation?
We gotta go meet Trauma. Tonight.
Okay.
I guess we'll find out the details.
Alright. I do have to send a message to Mr. Sachs. As much as I don't think Yang wants me to talk to him, I want to find out why he contacted Mr. Sachs in the first place.
Machine kind of lets her go and moves to look out the window, grabs his combat rifle and starts looking over it, and he says, all right, do whatever you gotta do.
Okay. Yin starts to suit up. She grabs her comm pad, takes into her hands, and scrolls down her contact list, finding Mr. Sachs's name, and she sends him a text, now being, in a way, a bit more clear-headed. And I'll just whisper that to you.
Okay.
Machine kind of looks over his shoulder and he says, try to keep it all quiet if you can. As less people know about things, the better.
What do you mean? This mission?
Yeah, I don't know all the details yet, but yeah, keep
Professor
everything quiet.
There's no one else to tell but you, and you're already part of the mission.
He puts the gun down and he's like, is there... He's about to say something or ask her a question. He's like, oh, never mind. And he leaves the room and goes into the bathroom and stuff to get ready.
With that, Yen is on a compad sending the message that she's planning to Mr. Sachs. Machine is getting ready. The time is around 9 a.m. Nothing much to do. You guys are at home. In some other part of the city. Trauma is doing what Trauma does. The city of Icarus proceeds with its usual activity for the day. The sun rises, reaches its zenith, and eventually it starts to set. Time is around 9 p.m. Yin and Trauma have kept to themselves throughout the day. Yin has been working on a sword, Trauma on his weapon. Not many words have been spoken. The past few days have been busy, to say the least. Many unanswered questions hang in the air, and there's some tension that seems to be brewing. While all this is happening, there's a knock on the door.
Ian looks up at Dean. Are you expecting anyone?
He doesn't answer anything, but he walks over to the door with his knife and steps to the side of the door. Is there any type of identification screen or anything like that? Or?
Yeah. So when you get to the door and look through the identification screen, you see on the other side a man dressed. Ian wouldn't see this, only Machine would be seeing this. He's just standing there.
He'll open up the communication to the door. Machine, what do you want?
I'm here for Miss Yin. Please.
And he opens up the door with a knife behind his back and invites him in, just with a hand gesture. Looks towards Yin.
He looks you up and down. The knife won't be necessary, Mr. Machine. And he's just been looking at you, Machine. And when he walks past you, you notice something extremely odd about this person. You've seen types like this. It's like extreme shadow ops operatives. It's interesting to see someone like this operating in society like Icarus. They generally don't work out here. Eventually, they cause bloodbaths because they can't differentiate civilian versus military life. But this person seems to be keeping it under control. He walks in, rounds the corner, and he sees Miss Yin, and he gives a curt nod of his head. Mr. Sachs wishes to speak with you immediately. I have been ordered to escort you to his office. Will you comply?
And Ian immediately gets up. Her face is paled a bit in seeing him walk in. And she nods. Yes, I will come with you.
Very well, I'll be downstairs by the car. Take your time, but Mr. Sachs was insistent you make it as soon as possible. And with that, without saying a word, without acknowledging, he just does an about face, walks out of the door, and as he walks out, his eyes kind of turn sideways and he gives you that sidelong glance as you're walking by a machine. And you've seen those eyes before, many a time in the dark, when the dirty deeds get done. Right before there is that guttural noise of wind escaping from your windpipe, from your esophagus before the body crumples. And these are the eyes of a killer. And he walks out.
The machine just watches him with his eyes, stares at him kind of blankly as he passes by, and closes the door for a moment to look over at you. Everything all right?
Ian's arm's kind of wrapped around herself. She's rubbing one shoulder, looking off to the side, and as Dean speaks to her, she turns to him. I don't know. I am not sure.
All right. You let me know if there's any trouble.
Of course.
You need me to tell you?
She shakes her. No. I don't think sex would get rid of me that easily. At least I hope not. She walks up to Dean, looking up at him. I don't know why you're mad at me or whatever, but I'll be back. And maybe after we get out whatever is between us, maybe after the mission, or before the mission.
He offers a small smile, corner of his mouth. He's like, I'm not mad. I think I'm just worried. Just worried for you. Which is kind of unusual for me. Don't worry about it. I know you can take care of yourself. Shit.
She smiles at the corners of her eyes as the mask is still on. I like that you worry about me. It's a nice feeling.
He smiles and he gives her a hug.
She hugs him back and, after parting, gives him a wave. Well, if I come back with one less digit, that'll be the worst of it.
Everything's gonna be good.
Sure. Bye, Dean.
See you later. Chi-chi.
And with that, Ian heads out of the apartment, heading down to the car that's waiting.
Excellent. At the car, Mr. Sachs's guard is quietly waiting. As soon as you appear through the doors, he opens the passenger side door for you. You get in, he closes the door, no words are exchanged. He makes his way onto the street and starts driving towards the club. No conversation in the car, and eventually you get to the club. At the club, no words are exchanged even by the guy who's generally at the bar. He sees you. He gestures towards the back door. He doesn't follow you. He doesn't exchange any pleasantries, which is strange. Generally, he would always greet you. A place like this always greets people who walk in, but nothing like that. and eventually you make it into Mr. Sachs's office. You see Mr. Sachs is sitting there at the table as usual, but there's something odd now. There are 3 of his guards in this room. Usually there's just one standing right behind him. And as you walk in, they all eye you like mad dog eye you. He sees you and he's kind of busy on his compad and he hears you walk in. Ah, please take a seat.
Yes, Mr. Sachs. And she steps quickly over, taking a seat. The only thing, she doesn't seem to have any weapons on her.
Okay.
She didn't take her. She sits down. She places both hands on her lap, back straight. She seems very nervous. Seeing the guards, seeing Mr. Sachs like this.
Mr. Sachs sees you and he's looking right at you. Remove the mask.
Yes. And she quickly unhooks it. She puts it on the table.
You can see he is agitated, not quite sure why. He's generally cool and collected, always refers to you as Messian, but today there is no pleasantries whatsoever. I do not know what to make of you. When you first came here, it was for a job. You partly failed, and then you made up for your failure, then you exceeded my expectations. I trusted you. I brought you into my organization. I gave you access to things people of the street could only dream about. And I am repaid with what? Not 24 hours have passed by and your brother, a very intoxicated brother, and I don't know what to make of her, but all I can think of is his dominatrix. Come in here, striking deals. I am not finished. You can see you're about to say something. There is that on one hand, and you had assured me you wouldn't drag me into this. So I was not looking into these matters. I am a man of my word. But then I'm getting information from the Lotus Blossom Club, information from this lady, Kumiko, who I spoke to yesterday, information from her office, private conversations that your brother is having with an individual that I also met yesterday, a stoic individual, but a killer nonetheless. What's his name? And he's kind of trauma. Now I can only assume that I am getting that information because you bugged that place. And you are feeding information like that into my systems, and it leaves me questioning. On one hand, you say you don't want me to be involved. On the other hand, I'm getting information as to the inner workings of your brother and Kumiko's organization. I mean, do not get me wrong. I like information. It gives me leverage. I didn't expect the information to come from you. But it is anyway. And that's what I can't make head or tails out of it. You do not warn me that they would approach me, yet you supply me with information. But the information is crucial in making in allowing me to make an extremely lucrative deal for myself, which I'm pretty sure this Kumiko lady and your brother is not going to be happy about. So, Miss Yin, can you please explain to me, and pardon my language, what the fuck is going on?
And Yin, as he's explaining this, he's saying they came in and that they're being fed information from her office. There's a bit of a look of confusion on her face. And she takes a deep breath. I will be perfectly candid, Mr. Sachs. Not hiding anything from you. I did speak with Kumiko and Hiro regarding, well, specifically they asked me about the helicopters. They asked if it was possible to provide them. They asked me for military support, things that you provided me when hunting for Nero. I refused. I told them that you were to not get involved. They kept questioning it, saying that what if you were to interfere? I assured them that you wouldn't, as I trust you. I told them they would not be getting the support of you, and they accepted that, as I would go through my own means to get whatever they needed, if needed. To be perfectly candid, she's looking down a bit, looking towards Sax, but not into his eyes. I did not bug them, so I do not know how that happened. That was not my doing. I had planned on keeping you out of it and not getting you involved. And having a message from Yang that he spoke to you the other day worried me deeply, and I did not know what exactly was going on.
Your brother is troubled, to say the least. He spits the gift horse in the mouth. It is unclear to me what he wants. The lady, Kumiko, was at least here to make a deal. He was here spoiling for a fight. He would have gotten himself killed and that bodyguard of his. You say you didn't bug their office, but you're the only operative that I have who knows the location of the Lotus Blossom, who's been to the Lotus Blossom. And here, look at this, and he shows you his compad. There are requisition forms for bugs, electronic bugs, on that, with your name on it. The dates from where logs have been coming out from that office were exactly the day you met them, told them that you would not help them through Mr. Sachs, and left the office. The dates all line up. And this is what you're observing in. He's just given you his compad.
She looks it over, scrolling down and shaking her head. I did not order these. I wanted to keep my word. I was not going to get you involved, Mr. Sachs. And based on this evidence, of course, there's no way for you to trust me on that. Of course, as it does seem like it was me who requisitioned these. But I did not. That is all I can say.
He leans forward and puts his chin on the fingers that he has intertwined underneath it. And he observes you as you say all of this. And then there is silence for a long time. He doesn't say anything, but he's looking at you. I believe you, Miss Ian. Do not misunderstand me, but this is work that a spy would do. You do not strike me as a spy. You have your talents, but spying is not one of them. The part that I cannot quite explain is how you could have requisitioned our bugs when you do not know where the facility is for those bugs, where the facility, where the quartermaster is, where you can requisition those items. I've never given you access like that. But still your name is on these forms. And he says, scroll on to the next screen on that pad, please.
Yes, Mr. Sachs. And she scrolls.
And you see that there is like CCTV footage. You don't know where the building is, but clearly it belongs to Mr. Sachs. You look at the video. In about 10 seconds, you see a figure appear on that video. The figure never looks up at the camera, but the body style seems very familiar. The hair seems familiar. The mask seems familiar. The sword seems familiar. And the figure goes into the building. The video fast forwards for about 15 minutes, and then the figure comes out. And for a brief second, the figure looks up at the camera, then down. And in that brief second, you see that the image is of you. But you know it's not you.
Yin watches this video. Hand that's free, slowly going to her mouth. And she kind of touches the side of her face. I don't understand. That's me, but I don't remember doing this.
A part of me wants to believe you, Missy, and your reaction at the moment was of genuine surprise. It's very hard to fake that. But that's the problem with drugs, Missy, and it is hard to remember what one does when one is on those drugs. Like I said, all the evidence is a little too perfect. Little too perfect to almost make me think it's been framed almost perfectly, tying every loose end perfectly. But the real world is not perfect, Missy, and the real world is full of fuck-ups. Nonetheless, it is for me to think over. And like I said, I don't know what to do with you. Because while on one hand there's all of this, if you indeed placed those bugs, or someone did in your name or whatever, that information was crucial for me to make an extremely lucrative offer for myself, like I said to your brother and his associate. They accepted my offer in return for help. I want you and your associate machine to be in on the op. You know the one I'm talking about. The Takeda ship that's on its way to Icarus.
Yes, I know the one.
I will be supplying with equipment. I thought that your brother and his bodyguard Trauma would lead the mission, but then it looks like your brother, like I said, unstable that he is, has had some sort of like a social fit and he's left Icarus. I don't know for good or for what. But the bodyguard will do. I can see it in his eyes. There's something else driving him, and I don't know what. But he will do the mission.
Mr. Sachs, I do not know if it is pertinent at all. Probably not, but it is completely up to you. I at least know some of the relationship between Hiro and Kamiko. If you'd like to know. But of course, it might not be important.
Certainly, go ahead. Like I said, information is always useful.
Of course. As far as I know, Kamiko is our cousin. She raised Hiro for most of his life. And as far as I know, he has dedicated his life to her. And once she takes back Takeda for herself, he plans on committing seppuku. There is a extreme dedication, from what I understand.
Your brother is a fool, Miss Yin. He does not see for what that lady is. He is blinded. I wouldn't call it love. I don't know what it is. You call it dedication. I think it's something else. Something only he can explain. I do not care who controls Takeda as long as I get my cut. But this is good to know. It's good to know people's pressure points.
Yes.
He seemed extremely concerned about my relationship with you. So much so that he was ready to blow the entire deal for his boss, who I'm assuming is this lady Kumiko. Stupid, but
I don't know. When him and I spoke with Kumiko, I think there was some sort of concern that, if I remember correctly, well, I think he thought you were using me to your own ends. I am surprised why he'd be concerned about that.
yes,
So
I'm using you towards my own ends. You are my asset also, Miss Yin.
of course.
Nonetheless, if we sit and chit-chat about your brother, the evening is just going to pass by.
Yes.
I called you here to let you know the evidence against you and your work. I will try and find out what really happened, and if it does happen so that you did all of this, said one thing to me and did something else behind my back, Miss Yin, what you did to Neuro, and I know what you did to Neuro, would pale in comparison of what I am going to do to you.
I would expect no less, Mr. Sachs. If I am lying to you, if I purposefully did all these things, like that place, as Neuro went behind my back, I expect you to exact the same revenge on me.
Very well. He pulls out his compad and you can see him texting, and you get a message. That is the location of one of my warehouses. It has facilities for equipment offensive, defensive, and appropriate transportation for the upcoming mission. When you, Trauma, and Machine have discussed the particulars, you can make your way there. You will find everything that you need in that location.
Of course. One final question, Mr. Saxon. I know it has not been a very long time. Again, fully disclose what has happened the past few hours, 24-ish. Recently lost quite a bit of time. I thought I was just sleeping. I took a mission at the Koto Corp. That is how I was able to infiltrate and get the information, hopefully, about the drug. But they did increase the dosage in the mask. There were some mental side effects in terms of more how I was when I first met you, but much more extreme. I do not know if that had anything to do with it. Me losing time, getting the bugs, I'm unsure.
One moment, and he takes his compad and his keys are flying, and I see it now, the information is coming in. I will have it rerouted to our chemists and have them take a look. I am sorry I was distracted by the recent occurrences that had not kept an eye on these matters. Hopefully my chemists will have some answers soon and we can take it from there. It is still my priority to get you off this drug. I believe there is potential that I am not yet seeing from you, Messian, and this drug seems to be hindering it. I just hope my investment is not in vain.
As do I, Mr. Sachs. It has been a long time, and I do hope I live up to the potential that you expect of me.
Very well. Let me know when the mission is done. Wish you success, Messian.
Thank you, Mr. Sachs. And she gets up, looks down at the table, takes a moment before taking the mask into her hand. And then she doesn't put it on before she leaves. She just holds it as she exits.
You leave the office, make your way down to the bar, and eventually are back on the streets of Icarus. Do you go back to Machine's apartment?
She does.
As Yin walks in the cool breeze of Icarus, she sees a taxi go by, hails it, gets into it. 30 minutes later, she is in Machine's apartment. Go ahead.
And Yin walks to the door. She put her mask on as she was in the taxi. Takes it off now that she's inside. Puts it down on a table. She's looking a bit somber at the moment, but as she sees Dean, she perks up and smiles. Good news, I am still complete.
Everything's okay then.
No. Everything's not okay.
What is it? He puts the knife that he's been sharpening down.
I lost about... I thought I was asleep for quite a while. Maybe it was before this, I'm unsure. I seem to have a large lapse of memory. And apparently I may have taken some of the bugs, Mr. Sax's things, and bugged Kimiko's office. And Mr. Sax has evidence that it was me, but I don't remember this.
What does he say about that? He probably wouldn't be very happy, I presume.
No. He believed me that I did not do this, that it was not me. But, I don't remember if it. I know I didn't do it, or at least consciously, I don't remember doing it. But this has put me under great scrutiny, and if it is found that or at least he determines that I am lying in his mind, I won't be around for much longer.
He stands up and his face all serious. So he threatened you that if this was you, that he was going to take you out.
He will do the same to I did to Nero. And I wouldn't blame him. For if someone betrayed me like that, I would do the same, which is what I did.
Well, you'd have to go through Machine as well, then.
I don't want you having to risk your life for me like that. It would be my own fault. I don't know how. Being sleepwalking? I don't know. But I don't want to see any harm come to you. At all. I don't think I could take it.
Well, like I said, you're my nuclear missile. So I'm going where you go.
Alright. Well, we live together. We'll die together.
He smiles and nods. And we'll eat together, because I'm starving.
Yes. But when's the meeting with Trauma? Maybe we can eat on the way.
The time right now is about 10:30. The meeting is at midnight in the Haven district. You would have about an hour to get a meal, spend some time in each other's company, kind of pushing the world, the Icarus and all the troubles out of this place.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's get some food.
Alright. Did you get groceries?
Yeah, I got some Hot Pockets and some chocolate and
Real food?
yeah, well there's milk.
That's a liquid.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got some eggs. I forgot the bread though.
Alright, you should.
Chocolate eggs.
Yeah, chocolate eggs. Oh goodness. I guess it's Hot Pockets then for dinner, as usual. I'm throwing my clothes on the floor this time.
And with that, the camera starts zooming out, giving Yin and Machine their privacy for a short period of time before Icarus and all the machinations of Icarus and its people get back into their world. Eventually the time comes, it's 11:30, Machine and Ian head out and make it to Rosie's Thighs, deep in the Haven district. When they get there, they see that Trauma is already in conversation with somebody in the bar. Go ahead, guys.
Ian walks in beside Machine, seeing Trauma, and she makes sure her mask is secure, testing it out again. She walks up, looking over at the identified individual that is sitting with him.
Machine, you would recognize Sarge as soon as you saw him.
Yeah. He'll walk up to you and big smile on his face and Sarge, and throw his hand out to shake his hand.
Well, well, well. If it isn't the big guy himself, Machine. And he kind of reaches out and gives you one of those like full arm handshakes.
Yeah. And he says, what's the matter? You've been pushing too many pencils? And he kind of squeezes his arm really tight.
Well, well. Looking at the flab on those arms, it seems somebody's been pushing too many hot pockets.
Man, I haven't seen you in a long time.
Same here, brother. Trauma tells me he has an interesting proposition for all of us.
Yes.
And who's that hiding behind you?
And Ian sets out from behind Dean. Ian, nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Ian. And he kind of looks at you, Machine, and looks at her.
And
Still
Machine
have game,
nods.
Machine.
He says, yes, indeed. She's very good at covert ops. And he slides down next to Drama and pats him on the shoulder.
What is Trauma doing when all of this is happening?
Yeah, Trauma would be sipping a beer when the two came in, and then he would shake Machine's hand as he comes in, but looks at Ian just for a moment, inhales a bit deeply, and then looks back over to Sarge, waiting for everybody to settle in.
Eventually, everyone settles in, and everyone is looking at you intently.
So Trauma kind of sits and leans forward a bit. There's a ship coming. 3 days. We go in, we destroy it. Take valuable material. Everything we use, we destroy afterwards. No survivors, no prisoners. In and out, wipe everything out. 50K ahead. Each person involved. I got a plan, an idea. And that's all I'm telling you for right now. The less details you know, the better.
Sarge nods his head. Big boy here is going to join us, and his friend.
They've been co-opted in. They're part of it.
Interesting. With you two, I know the deal is legit. Man, some of the chumps I've been working with, fuckers won't pay when it's time to pay. And then me and my team have to get in and get real nasty with them.
No worries about that this time.
Working with professionals. It's gonna be a breath of fresh air, if you know what I mean. Well, I'm in, for sure. Tell me your plan and I can tell you who else can come in and can take it from there. What say?
And Trauma nods, and we need someone to handle 2 birds, and then we need somebody to jam comms.
And he kind of pulls out his comm pad and takes a look. He's dead. She's in prison. This guy, I wish he was dead. This guy I need to find so he can be dead. Oh. Well, it looks like Bod is free. He can hack shit up. He can jam those comms. But there's going to be a problem, Trauma.
What's that?
The only one who's free to fly those birds is... He pauses for a moment. Kite.
And Trauma nods, and if that's the only one, and that's who we're gonna get.
Well, it's going to be interesting. You have not spoken to us since, I'm assuming.
I've been very busy. I'm sure that she's not happy we haven't talked.
Not happy would be an understatement. But money is money, and she's got a good head on her shoulders. And this money is good money. You want me to bring them in?
Yeah.
Very well. And you can see that he's, typing something on his comm pad, and he sends a couple of messages. They're on their way. I can brief them later. So tell me what your plan is. I'm all ears, Trauma.
So he puts his hands on the table, leans forward a bit more. We get supplies in. Everything we use, we destroy afterwards, first thing. We don't take any personal identification, nothing. Full gear, wetsuits. Insert, you get dropped off ahead of the ship. We take watercraft there, little personal watercraft things. Just trying to think of it. The water hovercraft things.
I know what you're talking about.
Take those in. Insert from the front of the ship. Quiet. Try to keep it quiet the whole way through. Whole crew, everybody, civilians, guards, all of them die. No survivors. Jam comms while we're in too. That way no message goes out, no help comes in. It's a corpo ship, that's all I'm gonna say. Not what corp, not what for. So they probably have things on standby. Can't let that get involved. We're looking at, and then I would bring up the
Yep, 1 minute.
for it.
Let me just bring it to everybody's
We're looking at 25 crew civilian, 12 military, approximately. Obviously that could change. They've got radar and sonar. Hopefully we can jam those. We go in, and like I said, everyone dies. We keep it quiet if we can. If we have to go loud, we go hard and fast, get to the bridge, get control, and make sure that no comms go out. After we wrap everything up, take any useful goods for our employers. I got a list of some things. I'm sure that, and he looks at machine Ian, I'm sure that your end of it's gonna want some things too. That's up to you to get. And he looks back at Sarge. After we've got all the personnel cleared, second bird comes in. Explosives. We plan explosives all throughout the ship, primarily engine room. Exfil, sink it. All evidence, all corpses, all of it gone. We get back on land, melt everything that we used, clothes included. Get dressed, leave, go have a beer, get paid.
Easy enough. 12 military crew, that would mean they are elites. You know that, right?
They're gonna be badasses. They always are with corporate types because they hire the same kind of people we are. But when those 12 are out of the way, we just got some ship hands. They're not gonna be worth a shit. Hopefully we can take out the military crew quiet.
Yeah, that's a lot of civilians.
25 corpses is 25 corpses. The military are the biggest issue.
Well, no problem with me.
Sounds fun.
Sarge nods. Bod can jam the radar. The sonar won't pick up our hovercrafts. They're too small for it. But this thing is moving fast, 60 knots. I'm assuming that it's coming here at full speed. Any kind of...
We could probably use some adhesives to make sure we can hang tight to the ship while we're trying to reach our way in. I'm thinking either thermite or, worst comes to worst, I guess we could come over the side of it. I'd rather try to get inside of the thing.
That shouldn't be a problem. Interesting.
Machine's gonna scan the area around them, just to take a look, see if there's anybody interested at all in their conversation.
Go for it. Give me a notice plus wisdom. If you click on your token, notice plus wisdom. So you click on your skills.
Oh, there it is, sorry.
You're looking around and trying to be like crack military, crack covert ops, deep shadow cover, and you're like scanning the room, and your eyes fall on this dancer who's gyrating on the on the stage, and your mouth kind of drops, considering the fact that the move she's making, you're not quite sure. It kind of, you turn and twist your head to see how is that anatomically possible.
And he snaps out of it for a second, looks over at Yen, and then back to Trauma and them.
Sarge is looking at you and he's smiling. Same old machine, same old. Trauma, you have piqued my interest. This is challenging. I'm assuming you want me to demo the ship.
You're the specialist. You know how to get that shit done.
He nods. All right. So by the looks of it, the ship is now 3 days away from here, which means we need to be off the ground no more than 2 days out.
That's
Correct.
right.
Is there a staging area where I'm supposed to meet you and your team and where we can load up?
And I don't know that knowledge has been imparted to me, has it? Because I know that Sax volunteered some stuff, but would I know that?
No, you would only
No.
know somebody like Ian would have it.
I mean, I would look over at Machine and Yin.
Oh, yes. We do have a meeting place. We can get all the equipment, get flying from there. And the extra guns. Anything like that we can get.
Where you
I
are?
will. We can get a location closer to the day. Is this acceptable?
Acceptable. 2 days from now, we'll be at the location you tell us. If the deal is off and we don't get the location from you, no hard feelings. I know how these things go.
But hopefully, you will get the location. He smiles at Sarge.
Ever the optimist, Machine. That's why I fucking love working with you, man. You know, and he looks at Ian when he says this. There was a time when we were deep in the shit. Surrounded. Motors fucking raining down on us on all sides. You know what this guy says? I'm fucking hungry. We should have stopped for some shawarma. This fucking guy. He kind of shakes his head. We did stop for the shawarma, by the way, and it was fucking delicious.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yes, you are ever the hungry one.
He's a growing boy. He needs all those calories. Well,
This might be growing a little bit too fast.
I like her, Machine. I like her.
He smiles and nods. Looks over towards Trauma.
Well, 2 days from now, I will see you, gentlemen. Trauma, you'll get the drinks and the dance.
I got you.
And he nods. He gets up. He gives a curt nod to Yin. He smiles and winks at Machine, turns around and starts walking away before he kind of disappears into the crowd. The floor is open for you guys if you want to RP amongst yourself about anything you want to discuss.
He'll immediately turn, towards Trauma and watch as Sarge walks away. So Sax,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's cool with this guy?
Yes, Machine.
And where does your brother stand with Sax?
As far as I know, and Yin will look over to Trauma. Not so great.
Yeah, and Trauma just shrugs. Doesn't matter to me.
Is he not gonna know about this though?
Oh, he
Sax
knows
gonna
about
know about
this.
this.
Oh, I'm in Yang.
He knows about this.
Where the hell is he at? Why ain't he involved?
Don't know. Don't care.
I guess more money for us then.
Exactly. That's the way we need to think about it. Yin looks over to Trauma. So, how did you get dragged into all of this?
Money.
Money.
Hmm.
Yes, it can be hard to come by sometimes, especially in great quantities. Working with my brother must be fairly lucrative.
What are you getting at, crazy?
Nothing. Nothing at all. But since we are working together, she looks over at Machine. And since you are close friends with Machine, you can expect a Trauma. We can work together amicably. Yes. You're not going to just watch.
Just watch? I'm not sure what you mean.
Not sure what I mean. But leaving that Faraday cage behind. Just watching someone walk away. Not going to just watch us murder all those people aboard. Correct?
That's funny. Okay. And so Trauma will put his beer down and he'll kind of turn to keep his shoulders straight towards Yin. Yeah, you can count on me to not just watch. Well, let me tell you this. This is a pretty important op to me. Now, as far as all the rest of the crew here, Machine, Sarge, other two we'll bring along, I got nothing but the utmost faith because I worked with them before. But you're wild. You're stupid. So I'm going to make this perfectly clear for you. If you fuck this up because you want to get crazy, I will fucking leave you out there. And me being friends with Machine ain't gonna make a damn bit of difference. You read me?
I read you. Trauma. But you may think what you want. Yes, Machine?
I knew there was something. What the fuck is going on between you two?
You want to know what's going on? This one. She points at Trauma. She looks to Machine. Let Nero walk away from me. And he was able to get away from us, get his hands on the tech, and make his own life much, much worse for himself by running. I tell this one, still pointing at Trauma, simple instruction of I did not realize that I had to be very, very, very specific, making sure to keep eyes on him at all times, not just watch him walk away. This is why it's hard for me to believe that he won't just watch. But if it's so important to you, Trauma, she turns to look at him. I do hope you'll be getting your fair share of kills.
Trauma leans back, finishes his beer, and leaves the tip. And then he'll get some extra money out for the stripper, since I'm assuming that Sarge wanted me to pay for a dance of his, sounded like.
Yes, it's a business meeting after all.
Yeah, so I would have been getting that ready. And it's real easy to blame somebody else for your fuck-ups, isn't it, Ian? Because that's all you are, and that's all you're ever going to be, is a fuck-up. And he gets up from the table.
Ian, give me a mental save.
Oh God.
You're free to do whatever it is that you would like to do at this point.
Yin stands up quickly from the table, squares up to Trauma. Look, you know that we hired you to make sure the tech stayed safe, to make sure the tech was sold. That was part of your job. I asked you, as partial employer, as partial one who was paying you for said job, to keep an eye on someone. You failed that. You failed that part of the job, and you blame me when I give you simple instruction, when I have paid you to do such a thing. You agreed to partial payment. That was part of the contract. That was part of the verbal contract that you agreed to, Trauma. So don't tell me that I fucked up. The only thing that I fucked up was making sure that you worked with us. I made sure you got a decent cut because my brother did not want to pay you much. But
You
that is my
fucked up,
fuck up.
and you trusted Neuro. Don't try to put this on me. Not to mention, I was part of getting that shit back, and part of the reason the shit got sold.
And part of the reason that Nero escaped, but also part of the reason we got him back. So I thank you. He doesn't, but I thank you.
Machine jumps up and he's like, hold the fuck up. Hold up.
What?
You two are the only fucking people that I care about the most. You guys need to get your shit together. We're gonna be in this op together. He looks over at Yen and he's like, you got Nero. You fucked him up real bad. You got your revenge on him. He looks over at Trauma and he's like, look, bro, I care about this girl. She's with me.
Trauma just shakes his head and smiles. Machine, my man. I don't have enough fingers to count how many times I've heard you say that about somebody. But you keep thinking that, brother. I hope this one finally works out for you. And Trauma's gonna leave with that.
Machine kind of looks down at the table, you know. Deep sigh. Lets him walk off.
And then I'll look down to Machine. You can see her looking a bit more apologetic. She puts a hand on hers. I'm sorry. I know you care about him. There's a lot of dislike that I have for Trauma. I do not fully trust him. But if you do, I will as well. And I will put aside my anger for him because you care about him.
He gives her a smile and nods. He's like, I can't understand what he's going through. I know it's a lot of shit. I know that's gotta have something to do with it. If he's talking about Tammy, I didn't even care about her. What the fuck?
Miss Tammy.
Some dumb bitch. He starts to walk off towards the bar.
Wait a second, and Ian's going to catch up. So what are all these other women? Are they alive?
No. There's nobody else.
Oh, not that dancer.
No. No.
No.
And you want a drink? He's obviously trying to change the subject.
Yes, I want a drink, just water. But later, we will discuss this at length.
And as Ian and Machine grab a drink at the bar, if there's nothing else, I will fast forward it to 2 days.
Yeah, good to go.
Yeah.
Yep, good for me.
Awesome. And the camera pans out, and the sun sets over Icarus, rises, sets, rises. And it's the second day. In the meantime, Ian, Trauma, and Machine are setting themselves up for the mission. Ian has texted everyone the location of the warehouse to meet. And we can take a quick 5-minute break and pick it up from there.
Yeah.
Who's Tammy? That was good.
Alright, let me just pause the video.
She get launched into space.
Alright, we are back after a quick break. 2 days have passed. Yin, Machine, and Trauma are in Icarus in their respective places, preparing for the assault on the Takeda ship. Eventually, the hour comes, and Trauma, Machine, and Yin make their way to Mr. Sax's hangar. Trauma arriving at his own time, Machine and Yin arriving together. They are allowed into the warehouse with Yin's credentials, and Yin had also forwarded the necessary credentials to the other three on the team. As you guys walk in, you see that the warehouse is huge. There are multiple helicopter ships. There's a lot of, like, this is a corpo. This is a full-on corpo setup. Yin, for the first time, you can see the breadth and the size of Mr. Sax's organization. Like, you now realize that you were just scratching at the surface, and seeing this place, you get an idea of how he was able to bring all that much firepower for your backup at the warehouse.
Yin's, as they enter the warehouse, looking around. She's kind of looking around, a bit of amazement, eyes wide, staring at the ceiling, staring at all the tech. Wow. This is impressive.
You guys make your way down, and you can see that there are two choppers. One looks like a stealth assault chopper that is being prepped. A lot of activity going around around. The other one looks like a strange, almost like a grasshopper. Almost half the chopper is missing. You guys easily make out that this is large enough and has the capability to carry a container from a ship or to any other location. You guys make your way down, and as you get closer, you see that the rest of the team is already there. And switch. Sarge is looking at some weapons, and you can see that he's looking into a crate. You surmise it might be plastic explosives. There is someone that's working in the cockpit of the helo, while a scrawny-looking individual with shifty eyes and kind of a jittery attitude about himself seems to be working on some electronics on the helo. Go ahead.
And Trauma would walk up and look at Sarge digging through the box and everything you'll need.
Ah, Trauma. Everything's here. Submachine guns suppressed, frag grenades, flashbangs, smoke grenades. Enough Semtech to take out that ship. Bod, look who's here. And Bod he stops what he's doing. He looks up. Well. It ain't the big guy and the quiet man. And he kind of comes up and gives you guys those full arm handshakes.
What's going on, bud?
Big guy. you. And he kind of pats himself. And he kind of makes like a hand gesture like he's a magician. And then he pulls out what looks like a hot pocket right in front of your face. You still love these, don't you?
He snags it. He says, "Of course I do, you know this." And tears it open. It's like, it's been a long time. You guys still hanging around together. Can't believe it. Can't believe you're not dead yet.
Oh, I had my share. Sarge keeps bringing me back from the dead. Say something about me being almost like a son to him. And then from the other side, shut up. And
It brings a tear to my eye.
and then he sees somebody behind machine and sees that it's Yin. My, and he kind of licks his fingers and rubs his hair back. I didn't know there was a lady in our presence. Aren't you going to introduce me? Well. And he kind of gives her like a fake bow. The name's Bod.
Hello, Bod. I am Yin. And she kind of sidles up next to Machine, wraps an arm around his.
And then he kind of gives Machine a quizzical look. And then he looks at Sarge. I didn't know he had game. Sarge, shut up.
Machine just takes another bite out of the hot pocket and stares at him. He says, "She's the best in covert ops. Really sneaky."
I do like how you call it covert ops. Makes it sound fancy.
"She's very dangerous with that blade." He smiles.
I'm sure she is. Man. He kind of gives a shrug and starts walking back to his electronics. Trauma, give me a evasion save.
Oh, this motherfucker.
Nice. You kind of like, you were expecting this kind of camaraderie as soon as Machine walks into this old group, and your eyes are kind of focused on that. But you're still Trauma. You have not lived this long, being completely, clueless about your surroundings, and you see this emotion, kind of on your like right side, right behind your ears, and in a flash, there's a fist coming at you. What do you do?
Oh, I mean, I dodge. Not gonna eat that, and then I'll try to grab the wrist of the person trying to punch me, whoever it is.
And you dodge, you duck out of the way. The fist comes through, missing you cleanly. You grab the wrist and you yank hard, and Kite almost falls into your arms. I still see you have the same reflexes. Nothing has changed, is it? Trauma.
And Trauma will purse his lips a bit and then let her wrist go. Nothing ever does. Nothing good anyway.
Lost my phone number, is it? Too busy is what the Sarge says.
Got responsibilities now. Sorry, didn't keep up.
And she kind of gives you that like nose down look. Sure, you have responsibilities.
He talks about you all the time, though. Machine will kind of smile over towards Trauma.
And she kind of gives Machine a smile. Oh, Machine, when will you learn not to stick up for this asshole? Alright, cut the chatter. And Sarge kind of steps in. We're done. Are we done fucking grabbing each other's butts and dicks? Are we done? Can we get on with the fucking mission?
I'm game.
Good. Here's the plan. And he kind of lays out the ship. This is the front of the ship, you fucking morons. This is the back of the ship. Kite's gonna take this thing, drop us at this point. We're gonna fucking get there. All thanks to the lady at the back and Trauma right here. We have all of this supporting us. Bod, need to fucking jam the sonar and the radar. If they fucking catch us in the sky, we are fucked. Oh, yeah, I'll do it. You don't need to worry about it. Have I ever let you down, Sarge? I fucking can't count the number of times you let me down, boy. Alright, load up. And with that, Sarge kind of starts walking away and picks up all the Semtex, and you can see he's filling his rucksack with it. Bod nods, Kite nods, and Yin, you would have seen this. You never have seen this before. You suddenly see that all the, horsing around and the, chit chat just fucking stops instantly as they all turn professional and start going about their business of loading up before the op.
Ian acknowledges this, nodding and kind of suiting up herself, grabbing all the extra necessary equipment. She kind of looks to a machine as they get on the helicopter. It is nice to see such a cohesive unit.
He smiles and looks up at her and said, "Yeah, I've kind of missed these."
I can see why.
Well, it'd be good to have you along.
I look forward to this. This will be nice.
And he comes up and he puts a hand on her back and he says, "Everything all right in here?" And he kind of touches the mask and then points to her head.
Well, it's never alright, but it will be good for the mission. Just... I will make sure to follow your orders, or Trauma's in this case, or Sarge's, whoever. This is not my area of expertise. So.
He nods. And he says, we all have each other's back. I'm sure Trauma will even have yours when it comes down to it." He says that more quiet than anything. And he offers for her to go up into the vessel.
She takes his hand and takes the assistants into the vessel. Sits down.
As you guys sit down, Trauma comes back from wherever he had gone. He's all suited up. Sarge gets in, looks at all of you. Once we lift off, no more fucking around. We all go in, we all come out. No fucking questions.
Yes, sir.
He nods, he looks at Kite. All right, take her out. And then Kite kind of, starts flipping a bunch of switches, and you can start here. You hear the rotors kind of start up, and Bod pulls out his data pad. You can see that he's all hooked up into wires into the assault helo. Sarge is just sitting there, stoic face, pulls out a cigarette, lights it up. Trauma and Machine would know when he does that, the game is on. You can hear Kite kind of speak to some control tower, and she gets clearance and she takes off. You guys take off, and pretty soon you're flying over Icarus. And then she kind of looks at her notes, and she has the heading of the ship, and then she turns the helo in that direction, and you can kind of see she moves the throttle up, and you can hear the helo go, and then she just takes off. You guys are kind of pushed back in your seats. Eventually, you're able to sit up, and the helo takes off. You ride like this for about maybe 4 hours at top speed. Nobody's talking in the helo. There's no chit chat. Bod is busy on his computers. Sarge is smoking a cigarette. Kite's quiet. What are the three of you doing?
Yin is mostly looking down at the ground. Well, the ground of the helicopter anyway. She does occasionally steal glances at Machine, most likely sitting beside her.
Machine would be checking over equipment, checking the straps, checking everything, and then he's kind of resting back and with his eyes closed sometimes, and he'll do the same too. He opens his eyes every once in a while to look around and kind of wink over at her if he catches her eye, and with a smile, and almost like he's just meditating and getting ready.
Nice. The hours
Trauma
pass.
is-
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Trauma. Go ahead.
Very good. Trauma is isn't he's very very stiff, very stoic, and just staring straight at the floor, just blinking when he needs to, but it's just zoning everything out.
Nice. Hours pass by. Eventually, you hear Kite on the comms. I have a sighting. We are in luck, boys. There seems to be bad weather all around her, and you guys see that there is like storm clouds kind of descending from the horizon over the ship. The ship is still pretty decently far away. She seems to be going a little slow, but the water seems to be choppy. And she looks at Sarge. Alright, Bod, do your tricks. Somebody click on Bod and give me click on the skills token and hack, choose hack. And for modifier, put a +3. Any one of you can do it.
Does anybody want to take a specific NPC? Or?
Yeah.
I'll take a Kite.
He takes Sarge.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So I'm on bod, and I'm going to hack.
yes. So click on board, click on skills, click on hack, and put 3 as the modifier.
I see program. Is
Oh,
that?
sorry, program. Yes, program.
And then modifier 3.
Modifier 3. And you can put int as the if it asks you.
I'm sorry, that was a modifier 3?
Yes.
Okay. Intelligence.
All right. So he says, "I think I've got it, Sarge. I think their sonar might be jammed. It's hard to say." Kite looks back at Sarge, looks back at Trauma, and "Are you sure, Bod? Is it done? What?" "It's hard to say, Sarge. They have a very complex algorithm. I think I've got it, but I really don't know." Sarge looks at Trauma and Machine. "Your call, boys. Your mission."
We go in. If he thinks he's got it, I trust Bod.
Machine will look over at Trauma and nod.
Okay. So you guys go in. Kite nods, and she takes the helo closer. As you guys get closer, the alarm on the helo starts going off. Pew 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 pew. Fuck you, Bod. Fuck you. And you guys hear the alarm go off louder and louder. Fuck. Yin, give me a on Kite skills pilot with a 3 and dex. So Kite, she starts fuck, and you guys are like flying level, and she dives. When she dives pretty hard. So you guys are like, pulled like going on a roller coaster. You pushed from your seats. The seat belts really dig into your muscles, and you can like, the wind gets knocked out of you, and she goes down, and just as she's going down, you can hear a missile go just right where you guys were. But with the way she's going, she's going to hit the water pretty soon. Give me a second pilot dex +3. Nice. And you guys are seeing like the water is like it's rushing towards you. And Kite's like, ah, fuck. And then she yanks the stick, and just like you guys were pushed forward from your seats with the seat belts biting into you, now suddenly you're like pushed back in your seats. And like again, it's like the G's acting on your bodies is just like, pushing you deeper into the seat. Eventually she gets the helo leveled, but now you can literally see she's skimming off the ocean, the ocean surface. Sarge looks back at Bard. You fuck. Boss, it's a fucking corpo ship. And he kind of shakes his head, and he looks at Trauma and shakes his head as well. You guys are making it closer. You're getting close to the drop point. Kite says, I can't get any closer than this.
It's fine. Let's go then. Hope that we get there and they don't bring us up.
Alright. And then she kind of levels it. And from the back, Sarge pushes out the hovercraft, and you can see it falls like a bag, like a well-packed bag. And then it expands and kind of, opens up fully. You guys all drop into the water and make your way onto the hovercraft. You can see Kite look at you guys from the helo for one last time before she turns around and starts flying away, skimming the ocean floor as she does. And pretty soon she's gone back into the rain clouds. You guys get onto the hovercraft and start making your way towards the ship. The water is extremely choppy. The what should have taken you about 10 minutes is now going 20, 25, 30 minutes. And just when you think the engine is going to die, from lack of fuel, you see that through the darkness and the rain, the ship's hull just like looming right in front of you guys. What do you guys do? You can just RP this.
Machine starts laughing, and he's looking at everybody while he's laughing to try to pretty much bring everybody out of their worried look, get everybody focused again.
Ian smiles over at Machine. Well, they didn't know we were coming. Now they probably do.
That just means it's going to be more fun.
Exactly. Fun.
And Trauma just kind of sighs and bring us up on the side. See if we can get in this thing without making more noise.
Sarge nods, and you can see he kind of controls the hovercraft. You guys are being rocked back and forth. Yin, Trauma, Machine, give me a physical save.
Oh.
Doing
Nice.
very well.
Excellent. Machine, you kind of look back at them and you're like laughing. To everybody else, Machine looks like a image you have seen in your school textbooks about this legendary fighters from the Scandinavian countries. They were called Vikings for some reason. The legend says that these guys would go out into the stormiest of oceans and conquer it. And Machine standing on the on the prow, I think, or the bow, the front of the hovercraft, just standing there, smiling, laughing. Yin, Bod, Trauma, you guys are having a difficult time keeping your the last consumed meal down before it all comes out onto the deck. You guys are looking real professional right now. Eventually, Sarge kind of brings the hovercraft, and he kind of throws what looks like a limpet mine. The things that just attach to hulls. It's not a mine, but it just attaches, and it starts reeling the hovercraft in, and eventually you're kind of snug against the hull of the ship. He throws open a box, and in that you can see there are like magnetic boots. You guys put the boots on and start climbing the left side, what do you call the port side of the ship. Go ahead, give me a exert plus strength or dex.
Jesus.
Bad rolls tonight.
So Sarge gets up on it. Machine, what did you roll? 7.
I don't think you rolled.
Did mine pop up as
I
7?
rolled
or
a 6.
Is mine a 12?
No, that is
No, I don't
that
think you
is for
rolled yet.
Sarge.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
I don't think he did one yet.
No, Machine didn't do it.
Exert and
strength. Nice.
Of course.
So Sarge, he once, as soon as it's locked, that's why he is Sarge. He's a fucking badass, and he immediately jumps on to the side of the ship and starts fucking rappelling. He looks like, again, some comics that you guys have seen of old times. It was called Spider-Man or something. You can't quite remember, but this guy looks extremely weird with his legs and hands splayed out, crawling up the side of the ship. Right behind him is Machine, and Machine is making it look extremely effortless. Yin, Bod, and Trauma are having a really difficult time. You guys are trying to get up, but the wind, the rain, the ship, the ocean, all the movement and just throwing up before this, it takes you longer to get up there eventually. Sarge and Machine are up there. All the three of you take 3 points of hit damage from that. Eventually you get up there and Sarge kind of looks back at Trauma, Yin and Bod. This is not looking good, folks. We can't afford fuck-ups like this. And he kind of says it in a quiet whisper.
Well, hopefully they can go up from here.
we made it onto the deck, Sarge. We got this.
He nods. Yin, Machine, and Trauma, give me a Notice plus Wisdom.
What plus wisdom, sorry?
Notice.
Notice plus Wisdom. Nice. So, the three of you see that there are these people on the deck. Sorry, let me also move you to the right picture. There are 3 crewmen. Clearly they're crewmen. They seem to be wearing a uniform that are about the deck. They seem to be, it's like this is the front of the ship, what's called the forecastle. And there seems to be like electronics and some sort of rigging. They also seem to be doing some sort of they're getting orders from over the comm system, and you kind of gather that they're doing something that's helping the ship steer through the storm while maintaining that speed. And while they're working, there seems to be a military guy who's kind of standing there and keeping watch. And you can clearly see that he seems to be in a heightened sense of awareness, like the gun is out. It's not like slung on his back, the gun is out. And he's kind of scanning the area. You guys have not yet reached there. You guys are still a little back. You just boarded. Clearly, the missile they fired, they are on alert now. What's the plan?
Trauma looks it over. Everybody's together. He says, points out the military. Says, looks over at everybody in the group and looks at Yin. Looks back at the military. Looks at the military guy. Looks back at Yin. Can you take that one? Quiet.
They are on high alert, but as long as he doesn't turn my way, I'll take him out quick. Make sure this crew don't scream.
The rest of us will gun down the crew. Just make sure he doesn't get a chance to do anything.
Sure. And with that, Yin will kind of drop into the shadows. Start finding a place to set up for assassinating this military guy.
Okay, so give me a sneak plus dex.
Oh my god.
Oh, all right. No. This was for Saj. You will see why. Okay, so as Ian, let's see what this guy does. Skills. So Ian, where are you? Where have you moved down to when you're setting up for the kill? Okay, so you kind of start grappling down, and as you're grappling down, you pause for a moment, thinking something is wrong. You're not quite sure what. You feel you might have missed some. You're not quite sure, and then you suddenly realize that all the way at the tip of the ship, the forward tip of the ship, there's someone standing there, and it's a second military guy. And when you realize that from where you guys were standing, you didn't initially see him, and you kind of lose your footing with that sudden realization that you don't have the drop. And when you do that, you kick some loose equipment, and it goes like clang, clang, clang. And the soldier that you were kind of sneaking up on, he's like, what the fuck? And we go into initiative. All right. Nice. So Yin, you are up.
So Yin is going to get down as quickly as possible and try and get into cover.
Yep. Nice. Okay. So you are in cover. You are down now. You're on the same level as the military guys, and you can see that they're both training their weapons on you as you go into cover. And he rolled a 9. You guys were 7, 8, 9. And so this guy's like, who's this? Yeah. So he's next, and he's like, we have a fucking breach! Intruders! And he looks up and he starts shooting. Okay. So this one is coming at you, Trauma. which is a miss. All right, Sarge is up. Sarge is like, fuck, you fuck, and he pulls his weapon down, and he chooses to shoot the guy who's kind of has a bead on them at the bottom over here. And I'll just roll this submachine. Sarge just pulls the weapon down, and you can hear the suppressor. And he's like, fuck! And this guy gets hit. As he gets pushed back, he in turn sees Sarge up there, and he's going to shoot back at Sarge. Which is a miss, complete miss. It's complete with Trauma. You're up.
Yeah, so seeing that this is going tits up fast, Trauma is kind of fuck, and then gets his SMG up and starts spraying at this.
Okay.
And I will definitely burst.
Nice, go for it. Awesome. So this guy gets hit decently, and you can see him kind of getting pushed back, and he's like, oh fuck, and he kind of takes cover. I mean, RP covers little from your weapons fire. Bod's like, fuck, and he kind of moves to the side next to Sarge, kind of taking cover behind Sarge, and he shoots his weapon at the guy Sarge was shooting at, and whiffs completely. Machine, you're up. Submachine gun, remember. Or you can switch to your standard combat rifle, whichever one you want to choose. You guys have both.
There's all... the jig is up pretty much, right?
Not yet. Like, you guys shot them back and they kind of shot at you immediately. You kind of feel that they didn't have a chance yet to hit the, alarm yet.
Okay, yeah, then SMG at this guy here.
Okay.
Burst.
Okay.
Modifier?
I think the modifier gets pulled in automatically.
Okay.
But yeah, 0 otherwise. So you burst, and the bullets pepper all over this guy, but they kind of you can see it hits his armor, but just kind of pings off it. It's not good enough. It's not like Yin, you're up.
So Yin runs towards the military guys, kind of behind cover, taking out her sword, and is kind of gonna hop over and start attacking him.
Nice, go for it.
I forgot that was Yin.
That's all you needed to kill him. So how does this look as you do that?
So Yin kind of dropping down into cover, hearing the gunfire go off, silencers from above, kind of shakes her head. Fucking shit. This is why I never went on cruises. And she runs out of cover, kind of jumps onto the table there, sees the guy crouching from behind, and just takes her sword in two hands, aiming it downwards and stabbing him through the neck and down.
Nice. Sarge, you're up. Sarge sees what Yin is doing, and he's like, he turns his weapon on this guy. Clutch shot, let's see. Nope, Sarge misses. Just as he's about to aim, the rain and the ship kind of lurches again due to the wave, and the weapon goes like up into the sky. This military guy is going to use his action not to shoot back, seeing that Yin has just executed his partner. He goes running and hits a button, and you start hearing claxons. Womp, womp, womp. Now the jig is definitely up. That's
Yes.
These guys, they're just kind of running, helter skelter. They don't know what to do. They're like just taken aback by all of this. Trauma, you're up.
It's going fucking dogs. And he'll just... It's going back on the old standard now because it's fucked, and he just gets his combat shotgun off his back, or a combat shotgun off his back.
Yeah.
And aims it at the military.
Go for it. Whew. Yep. How does no 8? Ah, fuck. So you shoot him. You shoot him good, and he's definitely like pushed back, and he's pushed back to the ground, and he's on his ass, but he's still twitching. You can see that he's still alive. Bod looks down and shoots his weapon. You get a +2 for the 14. Still not good enough. Bod, you can see he's aiming and he shoots at him, but he ends up hitting the armor plating on his chest rather than going for a headshot. Machine, you're up.
Machine will move. Can I move down there to him?
Yes, but that'll be a full movement to get to him.
Okay, then I'll stay right there and fire at him.
Okay.
Try to take him out before.
Okay, you're going combat rifle or submachine gun. The claxons are blaring. People are on high alert now.
I'll still do the submachine gun.
Okay, go ahead. Nice. That definitely kills him. How does that look?
As he's fires the first time, rips across the guy, notices that Yin takes care of that one. He shifts his sights over to the guy running for the alarm. Doesn't get him in time. The guy takes a few hits, falls down, and then he throws a couple of rounds from the SMG into his shoulder and then in through the side of his face.
Nice.
Taking him to the ground.
Awesome. And as you guys finish that and kind of turn your head to the crew, two of them have kind of disappeared down into the decks. I'm assuming you're executing the one who's still on the deck trying to get away.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yin's gonna charge at him.
Okay, how does that look? Because he's just a civilian, so there's no way he can withstand.
Yeah, so Yin kind of uses the momentum of jumping off the table there and just sprints for this crewman. And over the klaxons of alerts, you can hear her laugh as she just charges him and kind of puts her sword through his chest.
Nice. Eventually, all of you descend down from there onto the deck. What's the plan?
I'll probably hit the klaxon. It's not that it's going to matter at this point.
Yep.
Try to turn them back off.
You turn him back off and the klaxons go off.
Machine will get out his combat rifle instead. And start to guard any passageways.
Okay. What is Trauma and Yin doing?
Yin will look to Sarge, look to Trump. Well, we didn't see the other one, unfortunately. What's next?
Plan B.
Alright. Let's get moving.
We'll take advantages when we can. They don't know exactly where we are on the ship, but they just know we're here.
Two crew escaped. If they run into anyone, they will tell.
We still got some surprises we can pull. 34 to go. That's 3 down.
10 more leave.
Let's move to try to get control of the bridge. Quick. Quiet if we can. Engage when we have numbers. Fall back when we don't.
Yes, sir.
Right, so you guys start moving. You know that as per the plans you had from here, if you keep going straight down the ship, you'll get to the loading bay that connects to the two containers, where the cargo is. From there, you can go down to the hull of the ship and take the corridors all the way to the main vertical tower.
Quick question.
Mhm.
You said they were. It seemed like they were using this to navigate the storm.
Yes.
Yeah. Trauma would look at Bod. Wait a minute. Bod,
Yeah. Trauma.
you want to redeem yourself?
Yeah.
See if you can fuck up whatever they were doing up here. Buys us more time.
All right. But I need some time. You need to keep them off my back. I will do it.
How long?
20 minutes. I will fuck their systems up good.
All right. Set a perimeter.
And the first thing he does is that he kind of goes there and you can see that there's a terminal there. He just jams this terminal right here. He jams his data pad into that, making a connection, and you can see him furiously typing away. And let's see what we can do. Nice. So he's like, they're not going to be reaching out to anyone. I've shut down all comms out of the ship.
Can machine check this one, the guard out for any like security cards or anything like that? Or
Yep. You kind of go there and you kind of pat him down, and yeah, there is a security card on it. Give me a notice plus wisdom. Okay.
Should we draw them here?
Do you want to draw them to your location?
I don't know. She's asking.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Go. You
I
guys
would-
discuss.
I would look at Ian, shake my head. No, they're gonna come here anyway. We need to set up to hit them again when they come by. Set up ahead of Bod so we can't get at him when they're fighting us.
Of course.
You need to get in the shadows.
Will do. Just tell me where to go.
So Bod looks up. He looks to Sergeant Trauma. Boss, they're not going to be reaching out to anyone. I shut down all communications off the ship. And I was able to get into their closed circuit system. You want to see what I see? Come over here.
Tron would come look at it.
Yep. So he's kind of cycling through the closed circuit TVs on the ship. And you see that up at the loading bay, which is kind of maybe 100 feet down from you, this is what the loading bay looks like. There seem to be 4 crew that are in the process of running away as the military guys are kind of setting up for an attack. This guy's kind of hiding here, this guy's hiding here, these guys are trying to run away. So you have that information now.
Alright. Trauma looks at it. They might not come to us. They are on schedule after all. He kind of... Right. Bod, keep doing your work. He looks around. Someone's got to watch his back. We got to be active. We're going to have to take the fight to them, I think.
Alright. Who's watching? Who's going?
How many routes are there into this room?
So from here into that room where they are.
Into where we are.
Oh, from there to here, there's just one route. Like there's just like one big gang. What do you call it? Gangways on ships. So there's one big gangway coming towards the forecastle from there, and you kind of see in the distance, just so that you guys have always. Do you see like this the container, right? The LH2 container, right? So you guys are here on the side. You guys are there, okay? And like it's like this gangway that's this way, right? So you see the container, and it's right behind that container that the gangway goes. So the place I just showed you is this location.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have shortwave stuff between us, right?
Yeah. You have shortwave communication is not a problem between your group.
But do you have access to that door pointing at the pathway out?
Yes, I do.
We're gonna go bring the fight to them. Lock it behind us.
Affirmative. I'm gonna fuck this shit up. The ship up. Real good.
Good. Trauma gets his weaponry back together. Alright, let's go. Keep us informed where they're moving.
Okay. So is your idea to just charge that location? Guns blazing?
No, we're gonna go in. If there's another avenue into that location.
Sure. So there are a couple of avenues. There's this gangplank here, right, which is leading to them, right? But if you go back to the ship and take a look at it, there is also this interesting thing, right? You could go up that, which would allow you to drop in on them. So which would mean that you could drop in on them from here. You see what I'm? Oh, sorry, 1 minute. Drop in on them.
Yeah.
Drop in on them from here, like this. So you could go through the gangplank straight up, or you could climb up onto that railing, walk across, and then drop in on them. Now, if you go through the gangplank, you're basically doing a full frontal assault, right? But if you go from the top, sure, you have some cover and some stealth.
Some might see them.
But the issue up there is there's the wind, the ship moving, and the rain.
We didn't do so well with that last time. Look up top and who's got the smokes?
I have some.
I got one.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah. Go in with the smokes. Get to work. So I think the full frontal assault might actually be better. We'll use smokes.
Alright, I use smokes. Drop in the cover.
You say one of us up top drops the smokes down and lets the other ones know when to come in?
Taking too much time.
They have more time to set up. More
Ian,
time.
go top side. We'll push the front.
Alright. I'll try not to fall.
Okay.
I need to drop the smokes in.
He
Do whatever
takes.
you gotta do to get him killed.
Machine takes one of his smokes out and he hands it to her. And he like stops her for a second. He's like, "Don't fall."
I'll try.
All right. So Yin, give me a exert plus dex.
I'm scared. Oh.
So Yin, you start climbing up there. You climb up there. You're now on You are now up here, right? And you moved up to the pink line. And as you get up there and you're trying to walk, the ship lurches. The wind almost picks you up and almost throws you off. Just before you kind of fall down and grab a hold of that walkway, and you're just frozen there. Partly fear, but partly not knowing what to do next because you're going to lose footing. Meanwhile, downstairs, Trauma, Machine, Sarge are waiting. You wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes. There is no comm check-in from Ian. You can hear Bod saying, "Boss, they're setting up. You don't want to wait too long."
Machine looks over at Trauma. He's like, "Shit. I need to go up after her."
You need to do this fucking mission.
Oh, shit. She might have fallen.
At which point, you guys, you can hear footsteps coming at you. Give me initiative. Trauma, Bod, Machine.
Oh man, I'm rocking them in this.
Bod's like, "Boss, they're on their way. Take cover."
We're going in after this. Just take it too fucking long. And then Trauma will get into cover.
Okay.
Yeah, Machine takes cover.
So you guys start hearing footsteps coming through that gangplank, and eventually the door bursts open. I'm gonna move you guys slightly back since you're taking cover. Sarge takes cover, and 3 of the military guys come.
Two machines.
I've duplicated myself.
God.
3 of the military guys come running over, and they start shooting. Let me just give you initiative for them. Initiative. And descending. Ian, I've not ignored you. I'm pausing for a specific reason. And which military guy is this? This guy's going to shoot. He's going to see Bod at the terminal, and he's going to try and shoot at Bod.
Oh shit.
Fuck's sake.
Bod, he basically guns Bod down. NPCs in this game don't have too many hit points, not like you guys. Bod is immediately gunned down. He's like, "Fuck!" Like almost like the what do you call that? Platoon kind of a scene, as Bod just gets fucking gunned down. Trauma, you're up.
I immediately taking aim at the one that shot Bod down.
Yep, go for it. Nice. So the guy who shot Bod down is this guy. You basically hit him straight in the chest as he gets pushed back with the shotgun. He's hurt pretty bad. He's still standing and he's kind of fallen on his ass, but he's hurt pretty bad. This guy, who's this guy? This guy kind of steps forward, sees Trauma shooting with the shotgun, and he's going to shoot at Trauma for 11.
I would hit.
Yep. Next guy steps up and shoots He sees in the distance there's some people there. 2. He shoots at machine for 5. Machine, you're up.
How does the armor work? Does that soak anything, or is
No,
that...
it's just AC.
No, just AC.
Okay, that's
You get hit or you don't get hit.
okay. Roger that. Firing. Machine's gonna open up fire with his combat rifle.
Okay.
Bursted. This guy here.
Okay. So this guy is at full health. 1 minute. Why are you not seeing my? Are you guys seeing my pings?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the guy I pinged, he's at full health. This guy I pinged, he's the one that trauma hit really bad. He's almost at death's door.
Okay.
And
Okay.
this
Yeah.
guy
I'll
is
hit
at full
that guy.
health. Yeah.
And they're all basically. None of them have cover right now.
No, I mean, yeah, not so much. Yeah, they're like kind of coming at you at full.
Then I'll fire at the wounded one.
Okay. Nice. He's basically on the ground at this point. He's dying. Sarge looks at him and he pulls his weapon out at him and shoots. I think this is definitely. It doesn't. This guy is now kind of crawling, bleeding on the floor. At this point, you can hear Ian on the comms. 1 full round is done.
Yin gonna patch through. It's way too windy up here. I'm trying to make it over.
Come back. We're getting fucked up.
Alright, I'll try. And Yin's gonna turn around and start crawling back.
So Yin, give me a initiative. Nice. Okay. So we're top of the round. This military guy who's dying, he's just too wounded. He's going to continue to crawl away. Yin, you're up. As you come, you basically start crawling back, and you get to the lip over there, and you can see that there's one guy who's dying on the ground. 2 guys are set up and are basically exchanging fire with your group. Bod is basically splayed on the ground dead.
She takes a look down. Oh, shit. And she'll start grappling down.
Okay. So you grapple down and eventually you get here. Do you plan to grapple down in open or trying to be sneaky about it?
She's just based on time, she's just gonna go for it. No
Okay.
sneak.
Yep. So you get there, you get on the ground with everybody else. Trauma, you're up.
Yeah, so I would grip my teeth, spit out some blood, and then stand up and start opening fire again on one of the military guys. This one looks good.
Okay, yeah. Nice, that's a good hit. He gets blown back and he's barely standing on his feet with the hit he took. This guy, the guy you hit, is going to try and exchange fire back with you, but given the size of the hit he got, 17 to hit.
Ooh,
Yep.
close,
So you
not
can
missing.
see that he is aiming, but he's definitely bleeding, like full frontal bleeding, and he aims at you. But as he's about to shoot, his hand shakes just from the trauma of the shot by trauma, and the shot goes wide. Sarge, he looks at fucking bot, motherfuckers, and he kind of comes at them with his submachine gun. 21. He kills the guy that you just shot, trauma, and who missed you. And he kind of comes out like losing his shit. You kind of get the sense that he actually did think of Bod as his son, and he kind of comes running out, motherfuckers! This guy, seeing Sarge coming at him and having just gunned down his ship, he's going to train his weapon on Sarge and shoot. He misses. As he's about to shoot, the ship lurches again and his shot goes wide. Machine, you're up.
Yeah, he's gonna open that last.
Okay, go for it.
The one that's still standing, of course.
Yeah, sure. Nice. So you basically almost mow him down, and as you do, like, you can see that this guy has like kind of crawled away. This guy is basically on the floor. Yin, how do you like to? What would you like to do? This guy is on the floor bleeding. This guy is on the floor bleeding.
She'll go to the closer one, hurrying over to finish him off.
Mm-hmm.
She seems very frustrated. Just in general.
Yep. How does this look as you kill him?
So as he's kind of rolling on the floor, trying to get away, she approaches fairly quickly, not running, walking as she draws her blade. And as he kind of holds up his hand to stop her, she just cleaves through it, cuts down, and cuts into his hand, gets the blade towards his face, and pushes him.
Okay. Nice. Trauma.
Trauma will
This guy.
fast-paced walk over to the other man who's crawling away, kick him over, and then put his shotgun in the man's face and just splatter his brains.
Nice.
Attempt to. That's good enough.
Yep, that hits. At this point, you guys again drop out of initiative. The people who came after you are dead. You still not made entryway into the ship, and you see Bod is kind of lying down on the ground.
I'll check his pulse, not being optimistic.
You check
Machine
his,
will guard the hall.
you check his pulse. There's nothing. Give me a notice plus wisdom trauma. Nice. Let me send you a whisper.
I think they sent that to me, Zypher.
Oh, sorry.
To me
Yeah.
as well.
Oh,
Ruh-roh. Yeah, trauma. Let's breathe deep and then closes Bod's eyes, and then looks to see what access he still had at the comm pad, at the pad before he died. And then Trauma presses a few buttons on the computer to go ahead and execute the game through. We gotta finish this shit now.
And you see the program starts running, it's spewing a bunch of like log data and text data, and suddenly the lights on the ship starts flickering, and all of you feel, the throbbing of the ship's engine subside as the ship slowly starts to lurch in the heavy winds and the heavy ocean waves. The ship is now at a standstill. Communications are out. What do you plan to do next?
First thing Trauma does is pull out a syringe. It's the lift in my inventory. And I'm
Okay.
going to quickly jab myself in the neck with it and inject it.
Go ahead.
And that's going to be at the roll heal check. And it would do 1d8 plus heal skill in hit point heal after 5 minutes.
Nice.
So heal first.
Awesome. Nice.
So it goes with my heal skill. So it'd be 1d8 plus, what's my skill? 2.
Sarge is like, fuck, they killed Bod. They fucking killed Bod. I'm gonna fucking blow this shit up. I'm gonna fucking kill everyone on this ship. I'm done waiting for you fucking suckers to make up your mind. And he starts running towards the gangplank.
Let's fucking go. And he's gonna reload as they're moving.
And Yin follows behind, staying with Machine.
Yeah, Machine nods, follows with them behind Trauma, and waits for Yin.
Machine,
Yes.
give me a mental save. Sorry. Alright, I'm sending you a message.
And as they kind of run by, and he waits for Yin to catch up, he kind of stares back at Bod, laying there lifeless, and an odd look on his face as he looks at him, and then he turns to follow the rest of them.
Nice. So you guys are now at the loading dock area, and when you get there, you realize you are technically next to the containers. So I'm just showing you kind of on the outside of the ship. You are here where I placed your tokens, and there are two containers, not containers, but like housing for containers, right? So this is kind of like a very interesting modern day, like a futuristic ship where the containers are hidden from the elements or from view. You know, basically almost like stealthing what's inside the containers with the external shell. Would you like to enter the containers now or proceed down into the superstructure?
Go through the containers.
Okay. So you guys, Sarge is still running down. He's like, you want to check out the merchandise? Go ahead. I'm going to fucking start laying charges. They fucking killed Bod, and you seem like he is really off. Like Sarge doesn't behave like this, but the death of Bod, there's something completely off.
Messed him up.
Messed him up big time. Bod had his, like everybody else, he had his, fallacies, but he always was there for the group, and he came through in the pinch, right? So there's some relationship between him and Sarge. You don't know any, but he's behaving erratic and he's run off, and you can see that he's placing charges as he's going along, right? His submachine is out. He's placing Semtex charges. You guys open up into those container units, like those housing units. The first one you open, it's empty, there's nothing there. You snake around to the next one and you open it, and there's a single container in that place.
And Yin frowns as she sees this.
Everybody give me a notice plus wisdom.
Ugh.
Nice. Trauma, give me a no plus intelligence. All right.
Is that no intelligence at all?
So you guys see the container, and let me just send you the whisper. Yep. So you see the container. It's by itself. It's a pretty large container. Don't get thrown off by the image sizes. It's a pretty large single container, right? And this ship seems to be transporting only this single container. You guys look around and you see that there are controls, even though the lights are off and the emergency lights are on. There are certain control panels that are still lit up, and on it there are like diagrams as to diagrams and visuals that show you that you can open the ceiling of this room so that the container can be lifted out. What would you like to do?
Trauma's gonna look at it, and we can come back for this when we're done. We gotta go back to Sarge. It's off.
We also need to deal with everyone else on the ship. If they are trying to escape, I don't know if they will. If they have
might.
lifeboats, need to kill everyone. Is he gonna blow this thing up while we're still on it?
He's not that crazy.
Hope not.
Yeah, for now I think we're gonna leave it.
Okay. Sounds good. So you guys head out back from the container unit into back into that area, the loading area. Sarge has disappeared somewhere into the ship. You guys see that the way to proceed, based on the specs you got, is basically the same route Sarge took. You kind of come down, and then you can see through there. There's a corridor that keeps going down the hull of the ship, and it'll eventually get to the superstructure.
Let's keep going and hurry.
So you guys are going to continue, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Awesome.
Machine scan. Oddly quiet, not his normal smiling, laughing. Scanning with the combat rifle as they move through the place.
Nice. And you guys start entering the corridor, right? Initially, the corridor is long, and you can see that there's like hold on. Like it's long, and there's like railing, and there are pipes, and it keeps going down. You can see further and further, and the emergency lights are on, and they're like flicking, and they're like rotating and turning. And as you're walking, you kind of hear like gunfire in the distance, like coming down the hall. Like there's just like sporadic gunfire. Like
I'm sorry enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna hustle up and try to get to her then.
Okay, so you guys start running, and you like they kind of like sections off, right? Like the ship. So you're in one section, and you go to the next corridor. There's a section, and it goes on. You pass 2-3 sections like this, and then you come across the first dead body. A Chiotse, like the military of the Chiotse ship is dead on the floor, like blood splattered everywhere. You continue down the hall. Couple of sections later, you find one more body. There's a guy dead there again, and you continue down the hall again. You see a third guy dead, and hold on 1 minute. Eventually, you get to the end of the corridor, and what looks like gunfire is coming right around the corner when you get there. And you see that there is gunfire coming from the top, from the guy from the top, and Sarge is basically hiding or like taking cover underneath the staircase, like right here. You guys have not yet entered the arena per se, but you're like going to be rounding the corner soon, and they're exchanging gunfire at each other. You won't need to notice trauma as you kind of peek. You see that Sarge is pretty badly hurt, but he has this wild like look in his eyes as he's exchanging gunfire.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get right into it. Nothing sneaky about it. Just go right for the guy up top with the military. Get him off Sarge.
Nice. So go ahead. Don't give me an initiative because you outnumber. So all of you give me an attack roll. Nice. So did any of you hit?
I did.
Yeah.
Nice. So Yin comes running up. Rin, you come running up and you engage with him. And as you're running up, you can see Sarge kind of shooting at him, and the bullets fly over your head. You slash into him pretty deep, and you chop his non-gun arm off, and he screams like "Wah!" He in turn looks at you. He's like, "What the fuck?" And he's going to try and attack you. So
Did mine roll?
No.
Mine did not roll again. That's
Fine.
crazy.
go ahead
Sorry
and
about
make your roll. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Save your girlfriend.
Hey.
Nice. So how does this look? As Yin chops his arm, Sarge shoots over Yin's head, hitting this guy, and Machine, you kind of pop out of that corridor and you basically shoot your combat rifle at this guy.
Yeah. After Yin takes his arm off, Machine comes out, swings the combat rifle up with both hands down the sight, and rips a short burst, controlled into the chest and the face.
Nice.
Yin takes a step back as he shoots him, seeing the guy get peppered with bullets, and she looks down to Machine, gives him a nod.
All right.
Nods back.
So Trauma, you get up to Sarge and he is pretty badly wounded. He's like, oh fuck, they killed Bod. I've set the fucking charges. This ship is ready to blow, Trauma. Do it. Kill these motherfuckers. Leave while you can. And he like starts coughing blood out.
I'm gonna try to do some emergency action to see if I can stabilize him.
Mm-hmm.
Machine will put a hand on his shoulder, and he'll try to make him smile, but he's got nothing with he's feeling very strange about this whole situation. Like, not normally for him to feel any emotion about it. So it's very odd for him to feel like this. He's like, "I'm sorry, Sarge. I didn't mean to let you down."
And Trauma, what do you do to Sarge? Like, are you like, what are you doing to, like, are you using stimulants to kind of bring him back? And
Med kit, just trying to keep him from bleeding to death, basically. Just trying to patch up the holes. And I don't care if he's fighting fit, because we're going to go without him, but I just want to make sure he doesn't die.
yeah, so you basically, you use the med kit, and you use those healing foams that basically kind of they just seal up the wounds and stop the bleeding. And he kind of screams out loud because that thing fucking hurts like a bitch, like, oh! And he like kind of shakes his head, and you can see that the color is kind of returning back into his face. The bleeding is stopped. He's stable, and he seems to be like, I could always fucking trust on you, Trauma, to have my back, boy. You want to continue and kill all these fucks, or just blow this place up and leave? Your choice. I can fight, but if we do this, I don't know if all of us are gonna get back. What do you want to do?
We're going forward. And then he puts a hand on Sarge's shoulder. Your old ass is staying here. I don't want to hear nothing else of it. Protect yourself, and we'll come back and get you when we're done. There's not many of them left anyway.
All right. And he kind of gives you something. If you're fucking overdone, just press, son. It'll all be over soon.
Trauma nods and stay down here. Stay quiet.
And Sarge kind of crawls back into that space. You guys now have two options. Option 1 is go this way, you'll get to the engine room, or option 2 is go up this way and you'll get to the superstructure and to the bridge eventually.
Bridge it is, in my opinion.
Yeah, Machine's following all Trauma's orders here.
Yeah, surprisingly, so is Yin. Yin's not saying a lot, but she's definitely following along to the letter as best she can.
All right. So you guys start making your way up those stairs, which I just pointed out, and there's one more corridor. And when you get there, give me a notice plus wisdom roll. Nice. So Yin and Trauma, as you're making up there, you're kind of going to be rounding a corner soon, and you kind of hear the scuffle of feet, the cough, like you can hear coughing and like weapons shifting, and like you can hear whispers. There were gunfire. There's gunfire down the thing. These fuckers are coming up. We're gonna fuck these guys up.
Let's get him. Oh, it's around the corner, you said?
Yeah.
She looks to Machine. She kind of points to some of her grenades, and then she makes a throwing gesture into the room.
Machine gives her a thumbs up and gets his combat rifle ready.
So
Trauma gets a flashbang out.
okay, so flashbang. So you, if I remember correctly, there is one frag grenade, a bunch of smoke grenades, and a bunch of flashbangs. So which one are you planning to use?
I think flashbang and then frag. Is that what we're doing?
Sounds
Sure.
good to me.
Okay, go ahead. So whoever wants to do the flashbang, go ahead and roll off your. You can, if you click on your token and weapons, there should be a flashbang.
I'll flash.
Okay.
And then I'll spray at the end if anybody's left.
You got frag.
Nice. So that is the flashbang. Perfect. Okay, then go ahead for the frag. I'll tell you how this works.
Go, Machine.
Don't forget your reroll machine. Or your auto success, I should say.
Oh, as I'm doing the frag?
You have the frag.
Yeah,
You're the only one who has
Yeah.
the frag.
Don't have one.
Don't throw the hot pocket.
Nice, awesome. All right, so so how this works is, in this game you have to cross an AC 10 for the grenade to hit. Otherwise, it's a miss, and then you have to kind of do a random roll. So both of your grenades hit. These guys have an AC above. They have an AC above 14, so 1 point less. So that's 2 points. So 8, 8 for the flash, and then this is 6. So how this works is they take 6 points of damage from the frag grenade that Machine just threw, and they are completely disoriented for however long it takes you to get up there and shoot at them. So how does this look?
So after the flashbang goes off, Machine tosses in the grenade. It explodes. Yin's gonna run in, blade out, and just hack away the first one there.
Okay, so you run up here, go ahead and make your attack. That hits. So you cut into him. Trauma, you're up next.
Trauma's gonna rush up with his gun, the shotgun,
Uh-huh.
and
You attack the same person Yin hit, or the one after him?
Yep.
Or the
Same
same
one.
person? Okay, go ahead. Nice. That instantly kills him. Machine, you're up.
The machine will move in behind Trauma,
Okay.
bottom of the stairs, and light up the next guy.
Okay.
Actually, this guy up here.
Nice.
If-
Go for it. You can. Nice. You hit him for 4 points. Sweet. And now we'll make the this guy fails. Okay, so the guy who succeeds, he's basically like, he sees movement and his eyes and ears are still like, eyes are like burning, ears are ringing, and he's going to try and shoot just in the general direction. He's going to burst 14, which is kind of goes all over your heads. Doesn't hit. Go ahead, Ian.
Yin runs over the body, jumping over it and hopping to the next. And underneath the mask, she's again got that smile she always has, eyes wide as she tries to stab this guy too.
Nice, go for it. That he's like it's almost like that Mortal Kombat, you know, when they're like in their when they're about to go down and their whole body is shaking. He's like that. He's just rolling about, holding his ears, and you miss as he's kind of rolling about. Go ahead, Trauma.
I'm gonna continue with the stairs and just working each one down the line. Same one that she went after.
Okay. Nice. You kill this guy instantly with your shotgun. Trauma. Machine. You want to RP that or?
Yeah, so Trauma just walks up the stairs and is just putting out rounds from the shotgun, knocking dudes against the walls. Second one, he just hits chest twice, head once.
Nice.
Splatters against the wall.
Machine, you're up.
He'll hit that same guy he got last time there.
Nice. Awesome. You're basically whittling away at him, and You basically take out his knees and he's like on the ground now. This guy who has his like vision back, he's gonna try and he's seeing like Yin come up, Trauma come up, Machine down there. He turns his gun towards Yin and he's gonna try and shoot at her. Misses completely. This guy, he sees you guys coming and he has to make a save. He fails. Go ahead, Yin.
Yin quickly nods back to Trauma, again hopping over this one guy and charging at the next.
Nice. You chop his hand up. Trauma, you're up. What do you do?
Third burst, same as the second.
Nice.
I'm gonna go ahead and single burst this time, or single shot this time.
Okay.
Firing at the one closest.
Yep, he's dead. Trauma, you're up. Sorry, Machine, you're up. Yep, he's dead as well.
Leg shot, knee shot, shoulder shot, and head shot.
Nice.
Finally goes down.
Sweet. And he's dead as well. And right where you guys are, Yin and Trauma, that's the door into the bridge. That's the door.
Trauma reloads quickly. Alright.
Let's do this. Get all open the door.
Machine walks up to the door and pulls out a card with a strange insignia on it. Strange symbol. And slides it through. In his other hand, I believe he has one more flash grenade.
Yes.
He'll toss it in there.
Go ahead. Roll the grenade. So you toss the grenade in as the doors open. It goes out with a flash and a bang. And the captain who's sitting on a chair, all these crewmen, they basically just hold their heads and start screaming, and they kind of start rolling on the ground as you basically walk into the room. There seem to be no other military folks. These are just civilian crews. What do you guys do at this point?
Execution style.
Go ahead.
Trauma's just gonna walk in, put the shotgun away, and just pull the revolver out and just start going from crewman to crewman. To the captain, he'll kick him over and then point the gun in his face, and it's just good business. And just blast him, and then continue to go along whatever ones that Yin and Machine don't get to.
Yin's having a good old time stabbing away. She definitely takes a bit too much pleasure in doing this. And again, she continues to laugh. She stabs one over and over.
Nice.
Machine actually lets them kill everyone as he looks at the card and looks at his hand and his gun and watches everybody getting murdered in here. Kind of a strange look on his face, almost kind of like he's dazed for a minute.
Okay. What next? You guys, as you walk down each terminal, you stab, you slash, you shoot, and you guys kill all the crew that's in that room. It is a bloodbath.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the console that the captain was sitting at. Is there anything that's linked up to the crew that can give status on them at all?
Not really.
Are there CCTV cameras up here?
Yeah, there are CCTV cameras up there. You can try and roll something. Give me a program plus int.
Before that, I want to check the captain. See if he has any key card or anything on him.
Yep, he has a key card.
Look at it. Is there any kind of pad or anything for the console?
No, I mean you can just take his key card and like swipe it through. The console is activated.
Yeah, I would do that.
Okay, what do you wish to do at this point?
Same thing, check CCTV feed, but probably program still.
Yeah, because you need to know how to operate, like because
Fair
because the bot did it for you the previous time, right?
Program wisdom or int?
Program int. Yeah, you kind of type in a bunch of keys. You're not quite sure how to operate. You get a few images, but you're not sure if you've cycled through all of them. Some of them seem empty. Some of them have places where you have been through. They're like dead bodies over, but nothing, nothing of interest.
Trauma shakes his head. Fuck's sake.
Can't get it.
There's still 17 crew unaccounted for on my count. Military crew's fucked.
I'm gonna check to see if anyone's taken any. What is it?
Lifeboats.
Yes. Maybe we can go down and check.
I can't work the system unless you know how to program.
Maybe we can calm Kite. Maybe she knows. She's seen any lifeboats leaving.
Well, as long as we have the charges, blow this thing up.
I'm gonna put the ship to a stop as well if I can.
That's already at a stop. That's
Already
that's
stopped.
what bot did just before. Like just before he died, his program ran. The ship is dead in the water.
No. We go end to end. Comb every bit we can. Kill the rest. No one leaves except us.
Got it. Shall we split up and not go outside?
Fine.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Sounds good. Over the next half an hour to 45 minutes, you guys basically comb through the ship. Do you also comb out to Kite?
Yeah, it would probably take her a fair bit of time to get
Yeah,
here anyway.
it takes
so we
about
should be
it would
done.
take her about 3 hours to it'll take her about 4 hours to get here, given the fact that it took you 3 hours with the assault heli, and she's going to now come with the cargo heli. If that's what you want to do, or just blow everything up.
We'll take the crate, but we're gonna go end to end. I'd probably contact her now and bring her on
Okay.
there.
Right? Okay, sounds good. Over the next 4 hours, while you guys are waiting for Kite to show up, you basically walk from the ass end to the face end of the ship, searching every bulkhead, every crew quarter, every storage unit, everything. You find 17 crewmen hiding at different points in the ship. What do you do?
And slaughter
Everyone
someone she
dies.
finds.
All right. Eventually, as you guys are done and you're making your way back to the container unit, you hear Kite on the radio saying, "Hey guys, I'm here for the pickup."
Alright. Let's make our way down to the cargo. Get it open.
And during the downtime, Trauma will gather all the bodies near the engine room, and then we'll go to the cargo hold and pick up Sarge on the way there.
Okay, sounds good. So you guys get to the cargo hold. Let me move the image there. And the operations in the cargo hold are simple. This is not the bridge. You don't need you don't need specialized training to open cargo doors. Crewmen are pretty simple people. So you are able to quickly, figure out what the right sequence is, and you start opening the cargo doors. And you see, just give me a moment. The doors open, and right above the doors is Kite with her, the chopper. And she brings the chopper down. And then you see railings fall down from the chopper, and and you guys hook up the cabling. Then a few more cables, like rappel ropes, fall from the top, like 4 rappel ropes fall from the chopper.
Grab onto one.
Machine will snag one too. Connect it.
Yeah, we'll connect everything to the I'll connect everything on my end for the crate.
Okay. So you guys connect everything up to the crate. The crate gets winched all the way to the helicopter. You guys rappel up and get into the cabin. And she turns around, looks at Sarge and Trauma. Where is Bod?
Bod didn't make it.
And she nods.
Machine kind of looks out the window and looks towards the ship.
Sarge looks at everyone, and he looks back at the ship, and he says, "Fuck you." 10 seconds later, the ship explodes, and it starts sinking. The helicopter makes it higher and higher above the clouds, starting to be sunrise at this point. The mission success failure is questionable. Losing your teammate is never acceptable. Sorry.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost the cargo.
Oh, that's the cargo. And as you guys are making it away from here, Machine, you turn the insignia, like you turn the key card in your hand over and over. You don't know what it is. Yin, you're sitting next to Machine, kind of lost in thought a bit. And then you look at the card, and your heart skips a beat, and you hold his hand, and your eyes kind of almost pop off their sockets. And then you look out of the window, and you look closely now without the distraction of bloodlust, shooting, death, mission. You look closely at the container, and you look closely at the card. There is a W on the container. And you realize who the container belongs to. And your heart sinks.
And she leans back in the chair, holding tighter to Machine's hand. Watanabe. I thought this was supposed to be Takeda.
And Trauma and Machine, you realize that Yin is saying you just destroyed and stole a Watanabe equipment. And you look at each other in the cabin, not knowing what the fuck is up. And with that, the screen fades to black as the session comes to an end.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished, though, eh?
Yeah, that's true.
With that, we stop the recording.